I'm Juan Daniel and I'm gonna present you about street vendors in Colombia. Unemployment in Colombia has grown in recent years, causing an increase in informal activity, which today is more than half of the economy. Informal sales are one of the many economic activities that take place into the informal sector, and informal trade has become one of the main socioeconomic problems that affects a large part of our country. The street vendors are increasing more and more, and this has caused serious repercussions, not only in the economy, but also in different aspects that I will talk to you next. First, the street vendors have less tributary expenses. What is that? They use public space without generating any economic consideration to the state. Cause that it contributes more to unfair competition with formal business. Second, street vendors are used by mafias to distribute contraband products. Vendor stands that have unhygienic conditions. It can cause several health problems, as diarrhea, fever. But we have to think that the people that is involved in this informal activity, they need a job that guarantees them an income to survive. And even if it is not a formal job, they have to sell in the street, looking for survive. This graphic shows the unemployment rate to 2013 to 2009, comparing Bogota to Colombia. As you can see in the graphic, the unemployment rate in Bogota was below than Colombian rate. But in 2013, the rate of Bogota has been equal, or maybe, as you can see here, a little lower. But this situation is attributed to maybe the increase in the display conditions of the armed conflict and violence in the city, and these informal activities, it shows the inability of the Colombian government for creating jobs, and it has led thousands of citizens to rely on informal economy. As you can see in the pie chart, for the city of Bogota, trade activities account for 41% of informal work, followed by the industry with 17%, social and personal services with 16%. The huge majority of Bogota population work in informal activities. Unemployment always look for doing anything for their maintenance, as I said before. In order to solve this problem, as you can see in the presentation, the first step is negotiate with the sellers to pass them into the formal economy. This could be in the designated points, and they could make alliances with formal business and fulfillment of all the documents required by Colombia's Commerce Code. An idea to achieve that is to, for example, make educational programs, focus on the improvement of the beneficiary business or microfinance, and it will be offered to those sellers who became formal. For example, SENA courses or all that thing. But if we want to do that, we have to do campaigns in order to convince the sellers to become formal, as I said before. So if these agreements are implemented into today the formal business, the street vendors into the formal business, it will seize contraband products, benefits such as competition with formal business, and stimulate economic growth and recover public spaces that will increase the education level of the most vulnerable population. An example that we can consider in this activity, it was about in the city of Bushbaneswar in India, that improved the quality of life of street vendors and increased the income of the government. Finally, the solution of Restaurantes 1A, that it improved the quality of the food, it is in order to protect the sanity and reduce unhygienic conditions on the street states. And it's also important to consider that these strategies will take place into the locations that have more informal sellers. For example, San Cristobal, Candelaria, Kennedy, Santa Fe, and this will improve the quality and durability of street products, while it will reduce the risk of acquiring diseases and contraband. But in real life, we have to consider the budget. So a possible way to get over this problem, because the government might not be willing to pay for it, it would be, for example, reduce military budget, or collect taxes, and with this money, use this money that we will get to fund this project. Also, Colombia has a lot of problem of corruptions and legislative congestion, so this project will probably take years. Thank you for listening to my presentation.